And good afternoon. Welcome to the booth with Aaron Todd on KDX AM 1590. Thank you for making us part of your day. My next guests are from the Kennett Rotary Club, Danny Ray and Galen North. Danny, may I call you Danny?
Yes, sir.
Danny, welcome to the booth.
Thank you.
Galen, may I call you Galen?
Oh, yes.
Galen, welcome to the booth.
Well, thank you.
I'm going to start off with Galen. Galen, you are currently the president of the Kennett Rotary Club. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Tell the listeners a little bit about Galen North.
Oh, Galen Orff, an unretired teacher. Had 31 years in overall, 26 of them at Zenith Hornersville. Took a year off, then did a year in Arkansas, and then had the opportunity to go back to Zenith Hornersville. And this has been my third year there back, 35 years in altogether.
And for those who don't know, Galen also a longtime official in the area. You official basketball, volleyball,
And softball.
If anybody does know Galen North, one of the most mild-mannered and easygoing people in the entire world. That's why he can referee all three of those sports and officiate all three of those sports. I've never seen Galen get upset. And believe me, there's a lot of times he should have gotten upset, but Galen is a very, very level-headed man and does a great job, and we really appreciate all those years of officiating, Galen.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much.
Danny?
Yes, sir.
And everybody knows Danny Ray. Danny, tell the listeners a little bit about Danny Ray.
Danny Ray. Oh, me. That's a good one. Work at Southern Bank. Been a banker for about almost 20 years. Involved in pretty much a lot of activities around town between Rotary and Kiwanis Club and just helping out as much as I can.
And, again, we're going to welcome the booth with Aaron Todd on KDX AM 1590, talking to Galen North, the president, and Danny Ray, a member of the Kennett Rotary Club. Galen, the reason why we're here, we're going to talk a little bit about the Kennett Rotary. Tell us a little bit about the Rotary Club.
The Rotary Club in Kennett's been around for several decades. The organization itself has been around now for over 100 years and is now an international organization since then with over 1.2 million members within that organization.
And for those who are interested, the Kennett Rotary Club has always, how do I put this, had some of the most interesting characters in the area be members.
Yes, sir.
One of the most beloved members, obviously, Keith Mitchell was a member of the Rotary Club. Obviously, the Mobleys as well, is my understanding.
Yes.
And a lot of other very distinguished individuals who are members of the Rotary Club. Galen, tell me a little bit about what prompted you to want to become a member of the Rotary.
Well, it actually started with my oldest daughter, Gretchen. They invited her to be a hostess for the group, and she did that for a year. She really enjoyed her time as a part of Rotary, and I hear several good things about her from the Rotarians themselves, where it's reciprocated, and that got me interested. And so I began, after her time as a hostess was up, I began afterwards, and I've really enjoyed it. I'm in my 7th year now overall. And then my other daughter, Olivia, she was a hostess as well. And she enjoyed doing it and having that time there with them. So.
And Danny, I'm going to ask you the same question. Kind of what prompted you to want to become a member of the Rotary Club here in Kennett?
I was working. I had just started at Southern Bank, and their Southern was at that time. Well, even now, they're big into being involved in the community, and they asked me if I wanted to join. Go to a meeting, and so back in 2006, I started out, and yeah. It just kind of went from there, and so got to work with a bunch of interesting folks, as you said, and we've had a lot of great people, community-minded people in that group, and so that have come and gone and stuff.
And if you don't mind, I don't mind going back to some of those that you've already mentioned. Keith Mitchell, a longtime member of Rotary and a very generous person with his time and resources, and definitely missed.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, Keith was a longtime pharmacist, a longtime, very civic-minded individual who really cared about Kennett, wanted Kennett to be very successful, and he is deeply missed. Galen, tell me a little bit about, if I was to ask you, what's the purpose or the mission of the Rotary Club in Kennett?
You know, to do things for the community, to do various things. Some of the things that we have done is we help out with the collection of Gatorade and other sports drinks at the beginning of the football season for Kennett's Meet the Players activity. We also have our scholarships that we have raised funds to help provide those scholarships for graduating seniors. And then it's just an opportunity for us to, and we also donate funds if people ask, or if certain other nonprofit groups ask, you know, we consider and, you know, provide some resources there as well.
And Danny, if I was to ask you some of the things, you know, since 2006, and you look back and you think, oh, that was 4 years ago, then you realize it was 19 years ago, almost 20.
Yeah.
How's the Rotary Club kind of changed since you've been a member?
Changed. It's kind of one of those, just the different projects. The main thing is we've kind of just been consistent. I wouldn't say too much has changed, except maybe for our hair color.
Absolutely.
So, got a little.
Wait a minute, Danny. Let's not talk about hair color.
Yeah.
Some of us don't have much hair left, Danny.
Yeah. Luckily, I've
Well,
been
those
able
changes
to hold on.
occur too.
Yes, absolutely.
Those changes we get a little bit wider around the waist and stuff, and so me included. But yeah, main focus has been just a community. The as far as kids that's in our area, because we've done everything from library books to dictionaries. That was one of the big projects there for a while, and then technology kind of phased that out. Had a big Rotary auction that we used to do years ago, and because of technology and the way the world that we're in, security wise, we've had to cut back on some of that, and so still have some really cool opportunities to raise funds. We've done everything from a gong show, which I had never been in front of a crowd. They thought I would be a great host, and I had never stood up in front of a person or a group of people to talk, and so yeah.
But Danny has done a fine job when we've done that too.
Absolutely.
He has.
And again, we're welcome to the booth with Darren Todd on KDX AM 1590, talking to Galen North, the current president of the Kennett Rotary Club. Also talking to Danny Ray, and I did not ask you, Danny, are you currently serving any office position right now?
I am. I'm the club secretary.
And he does an outstanding job. He's also a member of the Kennett Kiwanis, longtime banker here in the area, Southern Bank. For all your banking needs, you get a hold of Danny Ray. He will help you out. And Galen, of course. Galen, you indicated that you've been officiating. What's the latest thing that you've been officiating? What is it? Volleyball finally over? Or are you still doing some volleyball?
Still doing volleyball. Finished up a district at Bell City last night, and I get to go to a sectional at Leopold. The team that won the district offered me an opportunity to help work their game that tomorrow night. So I'll be heading up to Leopold. This is year 27 as a volleyball official. And
again, we greatly appreciate your service to that. And it's obviously, again, we're welcome to Booth with Darren Todd on KDX AM 1590. I'm going to have to talk a little bit about the match last night. It was at Bell City, but Advance was playing against Leopold, correct?
Yes, sir.
Advance has an outstanding program as well as Bell City did this year. Two extremely good volleyball teams in the Stoddard County area. Leopold as well. Do we know who Leopold is playing in the next round yet?
Bismarck. Bismarck has 3 losses.
So, and how many losses does Leopold have? Do we know?
it was not that many themselves. I forget exactly what their record was. I did look at the common opponent schedule of the teams they played. They played about 12 games against common opponents this season. Leopold lost 2 of them, and Bismarck did not lose any. I look for it to be a very close contest.
Well, congratulations on getting that assignment. I know that's quite an honor to move on from the district level to the sectional level. And Danny, that kind of segues us into the next thing. We also have been following a sports team here recently. Is that correct?
That is correct.
The Kennett soccer program is getting ready to take place in the first district that we've ever.
I believe it is the first district that we have been a part of. So this will be a big historical event, I guess, if you want to call it.
And again, I want to welcome the booth with Darren Todd on KDX AM 1590. It's a very unique situation for me to be here with these two gentlemen. Galen and I have a child the same age. Mm-hmm. And when I say not a child together, but I have a daughter and he has a daughter the same age. Gretchen and Annalise graduated together. And, of course, Danny has the son Toby, who's also the same grade as Evan, who's graduating this year. And I will be an empty nester. But Danny will not be. Nope. And I guess Olivia graduated last year on that outstanding. Is that last year?
No, she's now in her 4th year out of school.
That long?
Yeah, she's a senior in college now.
Oh my goodness! It seemed like just last year she was hitting home runs for the softball team.
Yes, that was an awesome year for her. There was one point where she had 18 consecutive plate appearances with a hit or a walk.
An outstanding performance by Olivia. And again, we're on Welcome to the Booth with Darren Todd on KDX AM 1590. Talking to Galen North, the president of the Kennett Rotary Club, and we're also talking to Danny Ray, the secretary. And Galen, what are some of the things that the Rotary Club is kind of looking forward to doing here towards the end of the year for the citizens of Kennett?
Where this is, we're helping out with the small town Christmas this year. That's our 3rd year of doing that. Usually we've been these last couple of years, I believe again this year, we're doing the wassail serving of that, and that's on the Tuesday night of that event.
Yep, that'll be Tuesday night. And then usually, I know in years past, we hadn't talked about it so far yet, but there's been times if we know that it's going to be a cold winter or not, sometimes we'll do a little coat drive and glove drive for kids at the schools around and stuff, so that way they don't get a little chilled.
And again, I'm going to show my age a little bit here as we're on Welcome to the Booth with Darren Todd on KDX AM 1590. Is it my understanding that the Rotary has a Facebook page? Do we have a Facebook page?
Yes, we do have a Facebook page.
So you can get on Kennett Rotary. I call it the Facebook page. It drives my kids crazy when I say that.
When you were talking about the Mobleys, Leah Fortner, she is at times she will take the opportunity to video our meetings while that to share over Facebook.
And again, we're on Welcome to the Booth with Darren Todd on KDX AM 1590. Talking to the president of the Kennett Rotary Club, Galen North, and we're also talking to the secretary, Danny Ray, a lot about the Kennett Rotary. One thing that I've always, you touched it on a little bit, that I can always remember, and I don't know why I enjoyed it so much, was the Rotary auction. The Rotary auction was a long time. It was on the local cable channel here, I think, broadcast. Yeah. Kind of explain to listeners a little bit about that.
Local cable channel, and then we was also on the radio. Yes. It actually started out as a radio auction back, I'm wanting to say in the 50s, and they used to have it up at where Jack McDaniel Firestone. I believe they had it in that store up there for a little bit, the radio part of it. But local merchants would donate items, and then we would auction them off, and had our auctioneers, and we try to talk up the local vendors, and then kind of build goodwill and better friendships. That's one of the things in the 4-way test, and so it just kind of evolved from there. Joe McDaniel was always the spearhead for it. for the auction, and usually I believe over the years auctioneers were Matt Mobley and then Keith Mitchell and Randy Morgan. Trying to think.
Joe would be on the board
Yep.
quite often,
Yep.
taking care of it.
Taking care of it. John Tant was a big proponent for getting it on the air. Slicer Street Church of Christ, they would donate airtime for their part of it, to allow us to have that auction. But the funds that was raised would go back into the community for scholarships and other projects that we had going on as far as. Yeah.
And that was one of my first opportunities to become familiar with Rotary, was watching the auction and also taking part in some of the bidding in it. So taking advantage of those opportunities.
And it's my understanding, and again, we're welcome to Luke with Airtime on KDX AM 1590, talking to Galen North, the president of the Kennett Rotary, and to Danny Ray, the secretary of the Rotary. It wasn't just a one-night event either, was it? Didn't it go like a week or 3 days?
It was a 3-night event. Kicked off on Tuesday night. We'd have a 2-hour session, but it would go Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And we set up pretty much like a carnival on Saturday afternoon up at Southern Bank. Built a stage, board, all of it, and got everything organized and merchandised, and had the bill department, the back office department, and then the whole call center, as we called it. And buddy, when we went live on air, and it was nonstop, phones ringing, madness, but it was fun.
And it almost seemed like there was a board, and on it had a board, and you would rip something off like we're on the Price is Right, and it'd be like, now up for bid is a 4-toast toaster donated by McCall's Tired Appliance.
Yep.
And it was a great event, and they would just be going nonstop.
And it'd always be neat to see what would be the next item that would you to have the opportunity to bid on.
It was always the next item. What's the next item? And it could be anywhere from a tattoo from Sunsplash to Barton's. They used to donate
the hotel packages, gift certificates to various eateries.
Yeah, Cardinals tickets. I remember back one year savings bonds was a big thing. So.
And again, we're on Welcome to Luke with Airtime on KDX AM 1590, talking a lot about the past, the Rotary auction that took place here in Kennett for years and years and years. Galen North, the current president of the Rotary, Danny Ray, the secretary. And you talked a little bit, and I'm going to talk to Galen a little bit with this. You indicated there's a Rotary 4-way test. Kind of explain to the people what the Rotary 4-way test is and what that means.
Well, it's, when you're having interactions with others, kind of like the golden rule, doing to others as you would want have done to you, and then the statement is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships, and will it be beneficial to all concerned? And, is it something that's helping everyone, benefiting everyone? And if it isn't, you really need to be doing that then or not. So.
And it's one of those things that I think a lot of people can live their life by. Am I leaving a situation better off or worse off?
Yes.
And I think that's kind of where the Rotary is. Is it my understanding that also Rotary was the service organization of the year last year? Was the Rotary the service organization of the year last year?
No, I think that was either the JC's or the Adelphian Club. I can't remember.
I'm not sure. I'm going to say it's the Rotary Club. If not, it needs to be the Rotary Club.
Thank you.
I was going to say, we've got a bunch of great clubs in Kennett. There's some
we
good
do.
Good people with each one of them. So we all do our own little thing. But
there's some blending in there, but but still, there's where each one has some different tasks, but they all for the same purpose.
Yep.
So, another event, you were talking about events, November the 6th, we are, that morning at 6 o'clock, we're hosting a breakfast for those who have served in the military or are serving in the military.
Veterans breakfast.
And we've done that. It's been going on well before I was there.
Yes. man, probably maybe 10 years now.
Okay.
Maybe.
Well,
I
like I
was gonna
said,
say,
this would be my 7th one.
Yeah,
So
I was gonna say I think maybe 7 years or 10 years I know of at least, but it's kind of neat, but it's also kind of sad because as time goes, at first because it's kind of neat because the veterans will get there, they'll eat, but they'll tell what branch they were in and if they served in a war, and so it went from. There for a while we had a lot of World War II veterans and not a lot of Vietnam vets. And then as time has gone, we've started losing some of those World War II vets. And then
and some of the Korean War as well.
Yes, and now it's getting into current stuff, and then with the Vietnam War and everything, and it's kind of. It evolves.
It's a wonderful opportunity to interact with them, show our appreciation for them, have them speak a little bit about themselves, about first, what their service was, and a lot of the times it's in a fond manner, and then also about what they might be doing right now. So, but it's a wonderful experience having that.
And again, we're on Welcome to Loop with Aaron Todd on KDX AM 1590, joined by a couple of members of the Kennett Rotary, Galen North, the president, and Danny Ray, the secretary. Danny's a longtime banker here in the area, Southern Bank. Also, Galen North, longtime educator. 31 years, is that right, Galen?
When I retired, 35 now.
35? Well, after 31, you're like, you're going to go for 50. You got 50 in you. I got 50. We got Galen for 50. Talking a lot about the Kennett Rotary. Talking about their November 6th Veterans Breakfast that's coming up. Where's that event going to take place?
That will be at DNR Restaurant, formerly known as McCormick's. But we go to the back room where our meetings are normally held, and usually we're got around 30 people, sometimes more, that were former military that are part of it. So the more the merrier.
And what time are you going to kick off?
That will start at 6:00.
That's 6 a.m., correct?
Yes, sir.
6 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
And again, we're welcome to Loop with Aaron Todd on KDX AM 1590. Very excited to talk about the Kennett Rotary Veterans Breakfast that's going to take place November 6th, 6 a.m. Also, the Kennett Rotary Rotarians are going to be very active this year in helping with Small Town Christmas. They'll be giving out the, can I say it, the hot wassail, or is it just going to be a wassail?
I don't know.
I want to say it's hot.
It's hot, but I don't know if you would say hot wassail because
I'm
supposed to be hot.
I'm going with hot wassail.
Yep.
It's hard to beat a good hot wassail. That will be on the square here in Kennett. Come out and see all of your favorite Rotarians. They'll be giving out hot wassail. It'll be a great event for the Small Town Christmas. Talking a lot about the Rotary. Tell me a little bit about the history of the Rotary. How was it established and how was it started, Galen?
Paul Harris from Chicago. He was an attorney who formed the first Rotary Club in 1905. He created it, built it up. We have the Harris Fellowship now that is now in honor of him and what he's done. If you want to add a little more to that, Danny.
So Paul Harris, when he started out, he was an immigrant there to Chicago, and he didn't know anybody. And so he wanted to meet people, and so he went to his next-door neighbor, and they decided to, let's have coffee. And then it just kind of grew from there. So went from 1 to 2 to now millions. And so it was an idea of fellowship and trying to exchange ideas in a civil manner, and it just kind of led from there. And it's one of those, if we kind of all took that approach to everything, kind of be maybe a different world.
and as I'm kind of looking through and I've been perusing prior to the interview, talking, it looks like at one point they were highly focused on trying to eradicate polio.
Yes.
That's still one of the biggest issues, or one of that Rotary is working on, is that.
Was that because of Mr. Harris had some kind of a situation, or is that just at the time was the an illness that was, something that was on the forefront, that he decided, this is something that we're looking at and we really want to decide this is what we're going to focus on trying to help eradicate.
Well, it says that Rotary's been doing this now for more than 35 years. So this is after Paul Harris to a large extent. But we've got it closely almost eradicated. There's a couple of countries, Afghanistan and Pakistan, in Asia that it's still considered an endemic. But billions of dollars has been raised and provided through Rotary to fight this. And overall, there's been 3 billion children in 122 countries that have been vaccinated to protect them, to help eradicate this disease. There's, I believe, a handful of people in the United States.
Yeah, there's just a few wild cases that will pop up. But yeah, that was one of the things that they saw a need for and joined the fight. And back was probably maybe 10 years ago, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation injected quite a bit of money to get that push, and to get that push to go forward, to get that out of there. And like I said, like Galen was talking about, there's two countries, and it's just because they don't believe in Western medicine. And so
the virus spreads from person to person, usually through contaminated water, and attacks the nervous system. We became a founding partner of the Global Polio Eradication Initiative in this effort to fight it, and it began in the country of the Philippines. The average cost to protect a child against polio is only $3. And that's a small investment per person.
Yes.
And it's $1 million has been invested in surveillance, monitoring of that throughout the world as well.
Yes. Yeah. And one of the things that's come off of it is clean water too, because Rotary is big into clean water projects, because there's several areas in our world that we're not blessed to have clean water like we are here in America, and so they go out, Rotarians do, and they will help build wells, and usually they're close to schools, and so that kicks into another because one of Rotary symbols is a gear, so that's almost like another cog in the wheel to help out is with schools and everything.
And again, we're on Welcome to Duluth with Aaron Todd on KDX AM 1590, talking to Galen North, the president of the Kennett Rotary Club. Also talking to Danny Ray, who's the secretary of the Kennett Rotary Club. Talking a lot about what the purpose, some of the causes that the Rotarians are attempting to provide to the world. First of all, the ending of the polio, a horrible disease that affected a lot of people, and we're kind of getting a handle on that. The next thing is also providing some clean water, and also the Rotarians are also fighting disease, as we indicated, but they're also huge into supporting education. I think, one thing that all the Rotarians seem to have in common is education, love of education, and things of that nature. Tell us a little about the Rotarians' view on supporting education, if you don't care.
Well, once again, we locally provide scholarships, but there's also scholarships at a higher level as well that are there. We're trying to support basic educational literacy, increase adult literacy, reduce the disparity in education between the genders. And we support education for all children and literacy for children as well as for adults. And we invest millions as an international organization. Millions of dollars each year are provided to future leaders and also to philanthropists to further along undergraduate and graduate studies.
And you indicated a lot about the scholarships that's given out locally. For every local Rotary club in the area, it's my understanding that you can contact your local counselor or a local Rotarian, ask about any of the scholarships available, how I need to fill out that information out, and who I need to get it to. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct. Through the usually it's through the high school.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing I want to leave the listeners with, if you have a child who is beginning vocational or secondary or things of that nature, apply. All they can do is say no, but that money is out there. It needs to go to someone. The Rotarians and other organizations want to give that money away. The push for education is extremely important, and I know that the Rotarians would rather someone take it and use it than it to just stay there and not be utilized.
That's right. And when we go into a school toward the end of the year to make our decision about who we're choosing, we see lots of good candidates out there, and that's great to see.
And it is a hard decision. And the main thing is be involved. Anything that if there's any high school kids that's listening to this,
Yes,
make sure you get involved.
Yeah.
Involved in your school, involved in your community.
Yes,
That's a big,
whether it's
big
in
thing.
school or out of school activities, that's just something that supports the community that really stands out with us.
And, that kind of leads me to my next thought as I was looking through the information. You talk about the two official mottos, service above self, and one profits most who serves best. Mm-hmm. And I think that's kind of, in today's society with technology and cell phones and there's some people who can go and never even talk to another person for weeks on end. Mm-hmm. That getting out there in the community and assisting those individuals is what Rotary's all about, correct?
Yes. Yep. Getting out and seeing people. And
Yes.
you can learn a lot by talking and listening. Actually listening and talking.
It's like during our meetings, toward the end of the meeting is when we have a program where we have people come in and speak about activities they're a part of or businesses they're a part of, and you get to meet a wide variety of individuals that are and learn in the process, and give us a greater appreciation about what they are doing as well, and it's just wonderful opportunities once again, and also that way we have a better idea of what we're doing or what we need to do in helping serve others.
Yeah, and go back to the education thing. We were talking about things that Rotary has done worldwide. One of the things locally, as far as education, I think we said this earlier, but dictionaries for the third graders.
Mm-hmm. We've read 2 kindergartens.
Yeah, Masterson has a what do they call that? Is it Reader's Day or something like that?
Author's Day?
Author's Day.
Yes, Author's Day. And so we try to get volunteers to that for the kids to read their books. And then one of the other things is Rotary has access to, sometimes, depending on how much funds are raised, to CAP grants. It's a community assistant project. And through that, we've been able to, one, get a barn for when we had the community garden. The other was we were able to furnish microscopes for the local high school, and then defibrillators for the school, and then was able to secure some books for local libraries and stuff. So.
And again, we're on Welcome to the Booth with Darren Todd on KDX AM 1590, talking to the Kennett Rotary Club, the president, Galen Orff, also the secretary, Danny Ray. And, guys, as I'm looking through the information and you start listening to you explain the Rotary, and then you start reading, like, for instance, your mission statement. We provide services to others, promote integrity and advance world understanding, goodwill, and peace through our fellowship of business, professional, and community leaders. That almost goes hand in hand with the Rotary 4-way test that we talked a little bit earlier. So it's, again, it sounds like we're trying to build not only a better community, but a better world, correct?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yep. A better person, better community, better world. That all makes sense, yes.
And, again, if you're interested in becoming a Rotarian here in Kennett, there's a couple ways you can do it. It's my understanding. Obviously, you can come to a meeting. Is that correct?
Yes.
And kind of tell listeners a little bit about where the Kennett Rotary Club meets.
We meet Thursday morning at 6 a.m. For breakfast, and then the business side of the meeting is at 6:45. And it's usually lasting overall an hour 15 to hour 30 minutes.
So is it my understanding that you meet every Thursday?
Just about every Thursday. If there's a Thanksgiving, we know if Christmas falls on a Thursday, New Year's Day. There are a few other. Normally we don't on some of the major holidays, but for the most part on Thursdays.
So every Thursday, 6 a.m., DNR Restaurant here in Kennett. Come join the Rotarians for their meeting. The business meeting starts about 6:45 and lasts, 30 minutes, you'd say?
30 to 45 minutes.
30 to 45 minutes. Great time. A bunch of great individuals, men and women.
Yes.
This is not a strictly male or female organization. This is for anyone who cares about the community and wants to better the community. Come out and be a part of it. It's an absolutely great organization. I have an outstanding breakfast. And, get your day started right. If I wanted to come to a meeting, do I need to let you know ahead of time, or can I just show up?
You can show up. Usually there are some that have been invited and some that do drop in, but we've been thrilled that they have.
Yes. Yeah, it's just kind of one of those, show up and we'll go from there. If you come 3 times, we'll get you a application and then go through the process and see if you can be a member or not.
Or, and we'd be happy to accept more people.
And, I think the community is always needing more people who are willing to serve and help others. I think, that's one thing, if we can instill that in a lot of our kids. And you talked a little bit, Galen, about how you became involved because your oldest daughter was asked to be a hostess.
Yes.
Can you kind of explain what that is for those? I think I know, but you know what happens when I think, Danny? I get in trouble.
Oh, yeah.
We all do.
Exactly.
Yes.
All right, Galen.
What that is they ask an individual that's usually of age where they can drive themselves to school, or it's usually someone that's around a junior in high school. I don't know if there's been any. Has there been a sophomore or any? Or I know of some seniors.
I think we've had mainly it's been juniors and seniors. I don't think we've had any sophomores. One of the prerequisites from years ago, you had to play the piano, but that as time has went, that has kind of phased out. So,
what if I could tell you I could play a mean harmonica?
I'm sure that would
definitely
you
be
can do
considered.
that.
Hey.
Come on,
We'd be happy to listen.
I'm okay. I interrupted you. Go ahead.
that's
So we're
fine.
talking about the hostess. It's an individual who's in high school who comes, and their duties are
Getting the little tin. We have a little raffle drawing.
Yeah, we do things.
A small raffle drawing.
Yeah, a small little raffle drawing. It's mainly to promote attendance.
Yes.
And so we put a little dollar in, and then we draw a little card. And if you draw the joker, then you win the pot.
But you have to have the winning ticket first
Yep.
before you have that
Yep.
opportunity
So
from that meeting.
We try to create loopholes, but there's not one unless you draw your own ticket. But we try to keep from that.
And let me ask you this: how do we determine who's going to be the hostess? And again, we're on Welcome to the Booth with Darren Todd on KDX AM 1590, talking to the president, Galen North of the Kennett Rotary Club, and also Danny Ray, the secretary, talking about the hostess, who's usually a high school student who's asked to kind of help with the meetings. And we're trying to determine, how do we decide who's going to be the hostess?
Usually there's, we try to have some familiarity, or some of the members have familiarity with that individual. If they seem to be of someone that's of good standing, especially with school, and how they conduct themselves outside of school as well. And if we think that person would have a willingness to be a good volunteer within the organization, it's just, and we've been very satisfied with the individuals we've selected. So,
And am I allowed to ask who the current hostess is?
it is not a hostess.
Yep.
it is a host.
It is
Oh,
host.
I apologize. See, this is what I get
Yep.
for thinking. Who is the current host?
Oh, it's my son, Toby Ray. So
Outstanding young man.
yep,
Yes.
he is the first male host for Rotary. So before it's been a string of females dating back to the
Decades.
Yes. So
And again, we're on Welcome to the Loop with Aaron Todd on KDX AM 1590, talking to Danny Ray, secretary of the Kennett Rotary Club, whose son, Toby Ray, who's also been on the show before, very talented singer. I wanted him to talk about his singing and songwriting, but he did not want to do that.
No.
But he's very good. He's very talented. Don't let him tell you he's not. Extremely talented, great kid. And also talking to Galen North, president of the Kennett Rotary. The Kennett Rotary. A lot about what goes on. If you're interested in becoming a member, show up to a meeting Thursday morning, 6 a.m. DNR McCormick's. I apologize. DNR's restaurant, formerly McCormick's. The business meeting starts about 6:45. Also, November 6th, starting at 6 a.m., will be the Veterans Breakfast. Please, they're gonna give a shout out to all former veterans who show up. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And you can't say enough about those individuals who the service and sacrifice for our country is absolutely unbelievable. And also a lot about the small town Christmas, and we'll get to that more down the road. They'll be serving hot wassail and things of that nature. Galen, tell me a little bit about kind of where we're at in regards to the year. We're coming up on Thanksgiving. We talked a little bit about the coat drive. This may or may not take place. We think it will here. We haven't talked about it yet. Explain to me a little bit about Kennett Rotarians and where you think you're going with the Kennett Rotary program.
Well, it's just keep serving the community, finding projects that take the initiative to get those projects started and done. I really don't know anything specific to add to that.
I think, you look at, and then we talked about the two official mottos, service above self and one profits most, who serves best. And of course, your mission, we provide services to others, promote integrity, and advance world understanding, goodwill, and peace through our fellowship of business, professional, and community leaders. And I know I've read that before, but I just think that kind of strikes a chord, especially considering how we are in our world right now. It's almost, if you're on this side, you can't be on this side. Mm-hmm. If you disagree with me, then your opinion has to be wrong. Yeah. That's not what the Rotary is about, correct?
No. It's Rotary is a place where in my thoughts, we don't discuss politics, because that's one of those places that you can not build goodwill and better friendships, and so it's kind of one of those. Try to keep politics out of the side. Now, we've had people come and talk about issues that's going on in the community and kind of give ideas, and then sometimes through it's kind of one of the things the United Nations came from all of this during wartime, and so it was a place where people could come and exchange ideas, and and just treating those how you want to be treated, and so.
And again, we're welcome to Luke with Aaron Todd on KDX AM 1590, talking to members of the Kennett Rotary Club. If you're interested in becoming a Rotarian, come to the meetings Thursday morning, 6 a.m., DNR's restaurant, formerly McCormick's here in Kennett. The breakfast is from 6 to 6:45. Business meeting starts about 6:45. You'll be out in time to either get to school or get to work prior to 8 a.m. Or whatever time school's opening now, 7:45, 7:30. Is that right?
For my campus, it's around 7:55 when the first, and my principal's been very considerate about allowing me, since I'm president, about leading these meetings, finishing the meetings before I head on into school, and some good colleagues on taking care of my classes in case I'm not quite there at the beginning of time, but I think having now 29 years there at SH, where I build up maybe a little bit of
absolutely
consideration on that.
And again, we have the Veterans Breakfast, November 6th, 6 a.m. All veterans are welcome. Thank you for your service. We can't have imagined what our country would be like if those individuals didn't step up and do what they did for our country. And Galen or Danny, I'll ask you guys, and you can kind of decide. You indicated there's also some time when people come in and give presentations or things of that nature. Mm-hmm. If I was interested in bringing something like the United Way or Helping Hand, if they wanted to come and talk to the Rotarians, how would they go about contacting you guys?
Well, sometimes we contact them, but then, or if they contact us, get in touch with one of the, officers in particular, but basically any member, because we, on a rotation, each member is responsible for a certain Thursday. So right now, like around 3 times a year, we're responsible for, having the program and finding people, whether it's ourselves or someone else, to talk to during the meeting. And it can be one of these organization leaders or members. It can be a business leader or member. We've had the highway patrol come in and speak.
Yes.
We've had people from various food banks. We maybe do a history lesson, a sports lesson. So.
And of course, we're big on trivia. And so there's every so often we'll brush up on our trivia.
Oh, yes.
Mm. And I'm gonna delve into this trivia thing. We're gonna talk a little about trivia. Is there a reason why the Rotarians are big into trivia, Danny? Is there a certain group or someone who wants to always challenging each other for the trivia?
I don't know. I think I don't know. I think we're just a group of nerds. So
I wouldn't go that far.
No, I don't know. It's a fun competition, because I know I've been involved with the Methodist Church's trivia, and then of course a couple times there at the Three Rivers
College,
their trivia, and so it's it's kind of neat. But I'm one of those. I've watched a lot of stuff and read a lot of stuff, and so I have a vast knowledge of useless information. So,
and again, we're on Welcome to Luke with Darren Todd on KDXAM 1590. Talking to the Kennett Rotary Club. We're talking to the club president, Galen Orff. We're also talking to the club secretary, Danny Ray, both longtime members. Talk a lot about the mission of the Rotary Club is to provide service to others, promote integrity, and advance world understanding, goodwill, and peace through our fellowship of business, professional, and community leaders. Excuse me. Also, with their vision statement, together we see a world where people unite and take action to create lasting change across the globe in our communities and in ourselves. Danny, we're talking about a lot about trivia. Is it my understanding that there's currently a Rotarian trivia team that's constantly jockeying for positions of who gets to stay on and who gets kicked off of the trivia team?
Yeah. If you're good at Taylor Swift questions, we would be interested in talking with you. So, because that seems to be our weak point is Taylor Swift questions, and so we've got the history, we've got the as they call it, the potpourri category, which is everything under the sun. But we seem to be challenged with Taylor Swift. That's become our arch nemesis.
Mm-hmm. I don't even know how to respond to the Taylor Swift contest, but I hope that someone out there will brush up and volunteer to be the Taylor Swift member of the Rotarian team. Galen, are you interested in the Taylor Swift spot?
Not in the Taylor Swift. I've been a part of our trivia teams at times. There's been times we finished like in the first or second place. There's been also times where we had the toilet bowl trophy too. So, and somewhere in between at times. But usually we do a good job of representing. So, but it's always a fun time, regardless of how the end result is. And
that's one thing you can say. People will say, "I can't believe you're a member of this organization or you're a member of a group," and you're like, if you would just go and give it a chance and opportunity, you'll make some of the best friends you've ever made in your life. And it may be people that you're like, I don't think I'm going to have anything in common with this person, till you go and sit down and have a conversation with them and realize just because we all aren't the same cookie cutter looking person doesn't mean we can't have a lot of stuff in common that we like to talk about. And I think that's one thing that's a strong suit about the Rotary, isn't it?
Because when I first joined, that was for the majority of the group. That was my real first familiarity with many of them, and I might have known who they were, but it's just as far as knowing them. And it's just a pleasure to be a part of our Rotary group. We've had speakers recently come in, and they talk about how much fun we are to have presented to as well. We're, especially for 6 o'clock in the morning, we can be a pretty live group.
Yep.
And I think a good part of that happens to be our sergeant at arms. You mentioned the Mobley family, but Matt Mobley, our sergeant at arms, and always quite jovial, in one way of putting it.
Oh yeah, keeps you on your toes.
Yes.
And you were talking about earlier. We're talking about the current host, who's Toby Ray, Danny's son. We talked about the hostess. You indicated at one point the requirement was playing the piano. I don't know if I could really handle the piano at 6 a.m. But again, I'm not trying to, was it Great Balls of Fire by Jerry Lee Lewis we were playing? Or?
No, actually, Rotary actually had a songbook, and so they had little tunes that they would play out of it, and it could be anything from "You Are My Sunshine" to "My Country 'Tis of Thee." So
I'm learning right now some things about Rotary, about our little Rotary group there.
And at one point, to make sure attendance was up, they used to have a rabbit that they used to carry around, and if you missed so many meetings, you took the rabbit home and cared for the rabbit.
A live rabbit?
A live rabbit, yes. And so if you didn't want to get stuck with the live rabbit, you better make sure you're at the meeting. So.
And again, we're talking, welcome to the booth with Darren Tuttle, KDX AM 1590. Having a great conversation with Danny Ray, the secretary of the Kennett Rotary Club. Also, Galen North, the president of the Kennett Rotary Club. If you want to be a part of this group, they're an outstanding group of men and women, do a lot for the community. Their meetings are every Thursday, 6 o'clock, DNR's restaurant, formerly McCormick's. Come out. The business meetings are 6:45. They'd love to have you. It's a great organization. I can't say it enough. The things they do for the community is just, I can't even begin to account them. The members are truly, as you say, at 6 a.m., it's probably one of the most festive events you're going to be at 6 a.m. on a Thursday. Wouldn't you say, Danny?
It is.
Yes,
it is.
Because there's mornings where I get up and I'm like, man, I don't want to go to this. And then once I get there, it's one of those. It starts your day completely off right. You get in a good mood,
yes,
and then it's all downhill from there. So
that about summarizes. And Galen, when you first joined and you're thinking, 6 o'clock in the morning, I don't know about that.
That was one reason why I kind of paused at first, while Gretchen was a member, and it's like, but once I got, there were some times I visited while she was the hostess, and it was like, oh, okay, but when she, taking that time to join afterwards, and happy that I've done that.
And I think giving up an hour or two of sleep to help give back to the community is well worth it. Again, every Thursday, 6 a.m. The business meetings at 6:45. A DNR restaurant. Come out. Also have a Facebook. If you want to check out the meetings before you go, it's my understanding some of the meetings are on the Facebook page. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. Mm-hmm.
You can check them out. Also, it's my understanding that Danny promises that if anybody joins in the next couple of weeks, he'll bring back the songbook, and we may do some old tunes.
Yeah, we could try it. We could dig it out, blow the dust off, and
we could make that a program one day.
Yeah, make that a program.
That would be a great program. I would, and again, I hate to say this, but I'm going to have to come to a meeting now, and hold me to it. Don't let me just tell you this, guys. Make me actually come to one. But again, the Rotary, I can't say enough. Guys, we're kind of winding down here. Danny, I'm going to give you the last thought. Anything that you'd like to leave the listeners with about the Kennett Rotary Club?
It's one of those, I always try to pride myself on trying to be better than what you were the day before. And so if you can do that day in and day out, and then trying to follow that 4-way test, You're doing pretty good.
And if you need anything in regards to banking related matters, please call Danny Ray. Outstanding. We'll direct you. Southern Bank here in Kennett does a great job and has for years. Galen, as president, I'm going to leave you with the last word.
Just thank you for the opportunity. As Darren has said, if you're interested in seeing what Rotary is like and we're possibly joining, come on out for a visit. We'd be happy to have you there.
And on behalf of our guests, Danny Ray, the secretary of the Kennett Rotary Club here in Kennett, and Galen North, the president of the Kennett Rotary Club, I'd like to thank you for making us part of your afternoon. I hope you have a great afternoon and a better tomorrow.